today we are doing the exhaust on the old Ditsun. So we're making our mufflers. We got all these guys. These are sanitary elbows. They're 2-inch. We're doing dual out. So we have our 2.5. It's going to 2-inch out. I'm sure if you do the math, it's probably 2.5 is probably a better flowing, but we're not doing it that way. So yeah, we welded on a pipe to then weld it on the pipe to the V-band because I have a bunch of 2.5-inch ones kicking around. So the end pipe is probably 2.25, maybe 2-inch. Let's pop this off here. So yeah, the OEM one is legitimately 2-inch. So we're up in the potential flow that it's never gonna need because this is a 160 horsepower engine, rated the old style ways. So it's higher than what it actually would be in the real world. I think it's more of like a 120 horsepower engine. So we're definitely not going to need it, but it's kind of fun, and maybe we do something in the future that it might be required. But then we just got to change this front pipe, and then we'll be good to go. So that's what we're doing. This was bent down a little bit, so I used a jack and a block, and it actually lifted the car and slided it off the hoist, which luckily the floor pan was strong enough to bear the weight of the car, or one on that, and stopped the car from falling, which would have been not good. But we're doing the exhaust. We're making the muffler. Talk about it. So yeah, we have our in, and then we have our 2 outs. They're different. They weren't supposed to be different from the beginning, but when I slid this tube in, just because the proximity of it, I think it was going to be a dead zone for flow, just because of how restricted it would be versus this one. Not that it would really matter, because I guess if it got a restriction through this one, or it needed more, it would just find a way out of that one. But we had a bunch of this stuff kicking around, and it's easy enough. It slaves over. So yeah, now we're going to come out of here. Well, first we're going to weld on our top, and then all these mysteries will be hidden. We'll blow out all the dust first. But yeah, that's what we're doing. It's coming out. It's going to go to duals. And then we're going to have the classic, probably the classic 280Z of dual vertical tips. This is all kind of fucked up because it was all fucked up. Yeah, you won't even really see it that well. But we got all these sanitary elbows because getting steel J-bends now is, it's gone up by double. So these are about $7 Canadian each. And one J-bend is 4 of these because these are 45s with a little bit of extra tube. And it's now $75 where we are. So where I work, we have sanitary. So it's actually a nice 304 stainless. Not the highest grade, but I mean, you can eat on it because it's food grade. Those ones still are. This one's definitely not anymore until you clean it. But yeah, then we got some tubing. So we're gonna get this done for relatively cheap. We won't be able to hear it fire up for quite a while, but yeah, I kind of want to get this done while I still have access to the hoist, because this thing needs to get some paint onto it, and then it's gonna go the fuck outside while Mike brings his Volvo inside so he can put his motor in. And we got to get the ball rolling, and the wiring aspect, I mean, I can do that out in the snow if I had to, so it'll be all right, but just want to get it done while we can. So yeah, let's pitter patter and get at her. So yeah, come along for the ride. Alrighty, I forgot to kind of make any video on the exhaust, but it's somewhat finalized. We have our muffler there, comes into the 2 pipes, comes around, goes up into this fucking clusterfuck of a muffler. So we have these 2 tubes, they come in, and then this tube here comes into around here, and then it's forced to go back and then back through. Yeah, we made a hanger. The welds look like shit. I was going to actually TIG weld the whole thing. I even bought another argon bottle so I wouldn't run out. But I dropped this thing multiple times trying to get it in place. So I just kind of said fuck it and blasted it with piss with my my wire feeder. So yeah, It's welded with mild steel. It's a combination of mild steel and stainless. Like mild steel, stainless, stainless. I think it's a more mild steel around there. Really quite curious what it's gonna sound like, because you see that other muffler, it's 2.5 in, and then we have our 2 out, and then those 2 that are out come up, and then the same pretty much thing but in reverse. Shouted it in a few times, and it's really quite tingy, kind of. So it's going to be quite the interesting sound, unless some sort of weird harmonics come into play, and it really sounds like shit. But at the end of the day, we can always just cut it off. This stuff wasn't too expensive, and I mean, this was 1 2-inch pipe, so we can go back and just honestly just use what we have and make an exhaust with the stuff upstairs. But yeah, you can see it in there, different angle, but yes, get an idea of how it comes out. And then so yeah, it should be all right. Just poured it in there. There's no flex pipes, so that might be an issue later down the road, but we'll get to there when we get to there. So yeah, that's it. We're still getting it ready for paint. Still sanding. It'll eventually get sanded to a point where I can blast it with clear. But yeah, smell you later.